but I've run into a problem. Malaysia uses a different plug than what I'm used to. There is definitely not as many tourists here as there is in Thailand, in Bangkok. Lots of greenery within the city. I'm pretty amazed at how quiet this city seems. Check out this masterpiece here. Here is the Remley Burger. Here's the pool area. It's actually a wraparound. Good morning, guys, from the first day here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Just left the Airbnb and it's actually almost 12 o'clock in the afternoon. After arriving very late last night, 2-ish in the morning, slept in a bit. But now we're gonna head to a cafe to get some coffee to start the day, because you always have to start the day with coffee, if you like coffee, of course. And give you some first impressions of this city. Oh look, it's a Ferrari, a little kid's Ferrari. But yeah, I'll give you some first impressions of the city. This is my first time hitting the street here, first time really seeing it, and being in this country for the first time as well. There's some street cats here I'm noticing. So this morning, looking out the window, it was very foggy and it was very misty, and it was about 31 degrees according to the weather app. Now the sun is coming out, it's heating up, and it's feeling like it's going to get warm. It's going to be like that Bangkok temperature. So we will see how comparable it is to Bangkok, as that's what I'm used to, in the past few months. So yes, we're gonna hop into the cafe. I'm gonna start editing a video because I'm a little bit behind. I have about 3 videos stacked up so far that I need to get on and upload to the channel. So gonna do that, and then later on, stick around towards the end because I'll show you the Airbnb where I'm staying. It is a pretty nice view on the 22nd floor of a really big tower with a view of some very important buildings here in Kuala Lumpur. Wow, I almost just tripped. Well, just made it into this cafe here called the Common Grain. It's really close to where we're staying, and it's interesting. It's like these big chairs. I don't even know how to describe them, but they're like office chairs kind of, with these little tables here. And yeah, just ordered a nice iced Americano coffee. Muy fuerte, very strong. And it was 8 ringgit. Ringgit is the local currency here, and it's about, I think, 4.5 ringgit per US dollar. So that is around $2. Not a bad price. Alright, so I've been editing for close to an hour, and actually my computer is about to die. I brought my charger to charge it, and I'm really trying to get this video out. I want to edit most of it right now while I'm here at this cafe, but I've run into a problem. I didn't realize it, but Malaysia uses a different plug than what I'm used to in the United States. And I only have a US plug, which in Thailand I can use that, it's fine. But their outlet here is a bit different. I think it's more like the Australian one, if I'm not mistaken. So I didn't bring my converter with me to the cafe, so it looks like I'll have to go back to the apartment and finish editing there. So check this out. I just hopped into the mall real quick because I need to go to the ATM and possibly get some food really quick, but they have this little display here. This is the Quill Mall. This is the Quill Residences. It's a resident building that's attached to the mall, and they have a little mini display of it. It's pretty cool. And here, on the other side of the mall, are these buildings here. They're other residences. This is the residence that I'm staying in right now. It's called the Infitron or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll have to look again. But this is a really cool display they have here. And it shows you some of the tallest buildings in Kuala Lumpur. Oh, look at this. You pick what you want here, you bring them the card, and they give you the food. I've never seen this sort of system at 7-Eleven. Alright, well, just stopped in the 7-Eleven to get a pork bun. I think it's barbecue pork. Something small before going out after and getting something to eat from a local place. This is just typical 7-Eleven food. You find it in Thailand, find it here, but let's try it out. It's like 50 cents. Different than the barbecue pork buns in in Bangkok. The barbecue pork buns in Bangkok, or in Thailand at least, from what I remember and what I've had, is that the pork inside is all red. This one's more of a brown color, and the bun has like red on it, which is interesting. I don't know what that is. Alright guys, just left the Airbnb, the apartment. I know I said I was going to show you it, but just ended up finishing editing, and it took longer than I thought. But I need to get something else to eat. Really hungry, as all I had was that little steamed bun today. That was the only thing I've eaten, and it's already past 4 o'clock. And on top of that, realized we need to get SIM cards because we need data while we're walking around, and you know, to look up things when you need it. So we're actually on our way to get the SIM card, and I believe the place we're gonna go get it is near the famous Petronas towers, the two twin buildings that are like connected right here in the center area. So first, let's get a SIM card, maybe find some food, walk around, get more first impressions, and then go back to the apartment, show you it. It'll be nighttime, but should be a pretty good view from the Airbnb. You guys see that right there? Not really sure what the name is of that, but it definitely is one of the tallest structures here in Kuala Lumpur. But it reminds me of the Space Needle thing that we have in Seattle, Washington in the United States, and also the one that I believe is in Canada, in Toronto. I wonder what they use it for. Maybe it's like a cell tower, radio tower, something like that. There's a lot of communication devices or technology on top. But it's really cool, and I can actually see that from the Airbnb, so you'll see that soon. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this here, but there's the Petronas towers behind me, sticking right up there in that little slot of tree light. Actually, right here, which is a really beautiful view of them, is opening in the trees, right? In the opening in the trees, if you stand right here next to this tree in front of this gate, I think it's like I don't know what it is, but in front of this place, this complex, it's a heart made in the trees, and I just noticed that. So maybe that's the first time anyone's ever noticed that. I don't know. But come here and take a picture of the Petronas towers. It'll be a very Instagram friendly photo. Maybe we'll make that place famous. So one thing I'm noticing here is there's lots of greenery, lots of trees just surrounded in the city. Maybe the part that I'm in is more green than other parts, but yeah, lots of greenery within the city, which is nice. So keeps it very friendly for the animals that probably live here. I don't know what animals would live here actually. A couple things to mention here is that right now it's currently Ramadan for what, 1 month or so, so you don't see the local people eating as much during the daytime because they eat before sunrise and after sunset. And actually last night when we arrived at about 2 a.m. they were just setting up the tables for them to get ready to eat, so they probably were eating, you know, before 5:30. I suspect that the sun went up at about 5:30, so that's when most of them were eating. The other thing I was going to say is that from being here for the first, what, it's been 20 hours maybe? No, not even. 15 hours or something. There is definitely not as many tourists here as there is in Thailand, in Bangkok. Here you can actually walk down streets without seeing people for a little bit. And of course you can do that in Bangkok if you get away from the main roads and stuff, but there's definitely less tourists here. And maybe that's just because it's not as popular or something like that, but it's a good thing. It's a break from so many people. But now we're just coming up on the Petronas towers here. And look at this, oh my God. Wow, they're a lot bigger when you get close to them. And there's a lot of construction in the background. Some of these buildings are being worked on. here are the famous Petronas towers, and there are quite a lot of people here actually. But not as many as I thought there would have been. I would have thought there would have been more, but everyone's trying to take their fancy Instagram photos. And there actually are people that will take your photo for them. They have like these cameras and lights, and I don't know how much it is, but you can pay them and they'll take your photo. And plenty of angles here for a good picture. But a little bit too many people for me. See, there's some of them behind me. They all have iPhones, like brand new iPhones. And that's the type of camera they're using. Not like a DSLR or some high-end brand. And there's tour groups, you can see tour groups are walking around. But the Petronas towers here are actually really beautiful. Like, I don't know, is it just some sort of titanium, some metal? It looks silver. It's different than any other building structure I've ever seen. This looks super, super futuristic. The other thing I wanted to say is right next to the Petronas towers is this one huge tower, and it's super eco-friendly because there's like all these plants growing down it, and it looks like something out of like an apocalypse. Like if the world was to shut down again and everything was to go abandoned, that's what it would look like. But I like it. It's very cool. It's something that we need more in this world. We need more greenery surrounded by our buildings, whether that's around them, on them, near them. But now we've come into the Petronas towers, and underneath and inside the first section of it is actually a mall. And there are many, many nice shops in here. This place is super, super nice, just like all the malls in Bangkok. Really well designed, really well organized, and yeah, will take a lot of money out of your pockets. All right, just got the SIM card from a place called Celcom. It's one of the many service providers here for a SIM card. And very affordable actually. It was 45 ringgit, but it's 35 ringgit for 30 days for 30 gigabytes of data, and 10 ringgit is for the installation of the SIM and the cost of the SIM card. So 45 ringgit total is $10.20. That's pretty good for a month. And of course, this mall is gonna have lots of international presence. Like, already walked by a couple of Starbucks, there was a Baskin Robbins, plenty of sports stores and things like that. And I'm sure they have just as much, maybe more, maybe a little less than what they have in Bangkok. Alright guys, we are outside now in the back of the Petronas towers, and this is where there is a park with like this little lake or pond with some water fountains. There's lots of trees, kind of like a jungle, like a little oasis jungle in the middle of the city here. And I'll tell you what, it's quite humid. You can really feel the humidity right here, probably because of all the trees and the water and all of that. But we are still in search of some food. We had the chance to eat food in the mall, but why do that? We need to find something local out here on the streets, a first real source of Malaysian food. Will we find it before it gets dark? Wow, this park has some crazy looking trees. They look extremely old with all these roots, the root systems growing. There are like the main trunks, and then the roots kind of just grow off of them. But it's almost like this is what the tree looks like underground, but they put it above ground. But that's just how they grow. There was a little plaque that said they are ficus trees or Arageta as the common name. Really, really interesting. But the one thing I don't get is, why do people carve their names into the trees? Just why? There's like a water fountain area where kids are swimming. It looks like a pool. I guess you're allowed to swim there because nobody's kicking them out. And also there's some nice artwork. There's a whale that's like reaching out of the water. That looks pretty cool. And as I'm noticing, there is like a photo map where it tells you there's certain places where you can take photos with the towers there. And that's what a lot of people are doing, taking their photos, their Instagram shots. But yeah, we need to pass through here and get some food because I'm gonna eat somebody in a minute. I'm so hungry. Check this out, guys. There's a pile of leaves on the ground, and right there is just a bunch of red looking ants. I believe they're leaf cutter ants maybe, because it looks like they're chewing up the pieces of the leaves and then they're bringing them up the tree here. That's super crazy. They were just on the outside of the park here. We just left the park and almost stepped in them, and don't know if they bite, but that could have been a bad situation. But yeah, the park was super cool. It was called KLCC Park, right on the other side of the big towers, and very cool. You can walk around, do some exercise, sit, relax. There was no food out there, so you have to get drinks or eat something or grab something to eat from the food court and then bring it out there. So far, I'm pretty amazed at how quiet this city seems compared to Bangkok. And maybe other cities in Southeast Asia, but maybe that's because of a couple things. Today is Sunday, so maybe people are just chilling, not everyone is out, and also because of Ramadan. I don't know. Or maybe this is just how it is. I'm liking it though, definitely liking it. Alright guys, we just strolled up on a food truck area here. It's called Sembang at Matik. I believe that's what the sign says over there, but it's actually just like a 5 to 10 minute walk from the Petronas towers. You can actually see them right here. So you can stay here and eat while with a nice view, and there's a lot of local authentic food here, as well as a lot of Western food that is just recreated and made here. And I ordered I almost said a Wembley, like Wembley in football. But I ordered a Remley burger, which is a very famous burger here in Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia, and it's become very, very popular in the last 40 years. So I'm just waiting on that now, and then I will show it to you, and we're going to try our first Malaysian food. Alright guys, my food has arrived here. This is the famous, oh you can't see it, hold on. This is the famous Remley burger that has been becoming even more popular year after year here. It looks really interesting. We have a beef patty, we have, looks like some mayo, chili sauce, lettuce, and egg on it. And they also serve it with a little bit of fries. The total cost for this here is 10 ringgit, which is maybe a little more than $2, I believe, or just about $2. Oh my god, it's sliding everywhere. Wow, check out this masterpiece here. Here is the Remley burger. Beef, got the egg patty. Oh man, I can't wait to dig in. Look at this little cute Malaysian flag on top. Let's take that out so I don't stab myself. Oh, and I think there's apple on here. Looks like apple. An apple slice maybe. Wow. That is apple. Interesting. Apple. There we go. Cheers. That is sloppy and delicious. I need a napkin. Wow. There's just so much sauce on it. The chili and the mayo. That chili sauce has a little hint of spice, but it is absolutely delicious. I have never had an apple on a burger, but why not? It's what they do, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's falling apart. This burger is really tasty. It's just that there's too much sauce on here. It's sliding around too much. Also, the fries are pretty good too. They're like McDonald's fries, just not as salty. They're the The long, skinny hot fries. Oh, that burger was fantastic. Really good and interesting type of burger that I've never had before. But I'll tell you what, that food truck spot right there is a really cool area. I bet you at night it gets even livelier, and a good place to hang out with some friends, eat some food. Maybe the only issue for Westerners is that there's no alcohol there, so you can't drink. Maybe they don't have a license for it. Maybe drinking isn't really something people do here. I really don't know. But it was really annoying because I was being attacked by flies constantly while eating. And that is, Man, motorcycles. Why do you need your motorcycle so loud? But if two things could be vanquished from this earth, it's flies and mosquitoes. 100%. But now, like I promised, onto the Airbnb, the place where we are staying. I'm gonna show you that. So we're just a couple minutes away by walking, and we still got some daylight. So hopefully I can show you a view from the rooftop before that gets too dark. So as we're walking along the main road here, we just passed this little spot here where people were taking some photos because we thought there was an animal. I thought maybe there would be monitor lizards or something here, and it turns out it's a snake. It's a pretty big one too. It's probably like 8 feet long. I don't know, maybe it's a python or something like that, but it wasn't alive, it was dead. And it didn't have really any injury. It didn't look like maybe somebody sliced it or something, or it died on its own, but it looks like somebody just dumped it here because they didn't know what to do with it maybe. It's sad and unfortunate because they're such beautiful creatures, although many people are scared of them, but it doesn't really look like it died there. Maybe it did, maybe it just curled up in a ball and died, but I don't know what happened. So we made a quick pit stop into the grocery store here across the street just to grab some snacks for the Airbnb, but check this out here. Look at this, an absolute just mound of chilies. Holy crap. That's when you know they really like their spice here. Oh my god. Wow, and then look at this over here. Just mounds of dried fish. Sardine or something maybe, I don't know. Wow. Ooh, it's really stinky. Alright, we just came up to the top of the building. It turns out the pool is on the 35th floor and the gym is on the 36th floor. Just took a sneak peek at the pool and it is amazing. So let's see how the gym is and then I'll show you the pool area. Wow, the views from this gym, from this floor, this building, it's just absolutely stunning. This gym is actually really nice. There's a fair amount of equipment. You have some leg machines, you have a cable machine here. Not sure what that is over there. There's some mirrors, I guess. But look at this, quite the dumbbell section. I might have to get a workout in. It's been a while since I actually had a good gym and a good workout, so I might be using this while here. But yeah, there's a whole line of treadmills right here and all glass going around where you can see the views. It's so stunning. Maybe you can see in the background there's the towers. You can see the other tall thing that looks like the needle. And oh man, just much more. But there's also a cafe down here where there's actually people chilling down. They're sitting. I don't know, maybe it's closed to the public right now. So here's the pool area. It's actually a wraparound pool that comes all the way around from one side to the other. Whoa, just a corner of the building, but it's fairly big. It's an infinity pool where the water goes over the side and just an open view on two sides of the building where you have the view of the second tallest building in the world, the Space Needle looking thing, not sure of the name, and then also the Petronas towers over there. All sorts of places in here to hang out and chill. There's some chairs, you can hang with friends, drink some beers. People are drinking right now. And there's a nice breeze up here, so it's definitely a great place to hang out. Might have to come up here pretty soon and do a workout, hop in the pool, drink some beer. It's gonna be a good stay here.